The 21st, 2-1 for you guys that have nothing better to do, only watch the date. The 21st of October, the 10th month of 2025, here from my workshop. The presidential election is on Friday. I'm voting Steen on my ballot paper. I'm writing Steen. So I met a person today who was horrified that I would do that. Well, I am doing it. This time last night, a migrant from some Arab country who can't speak English and needed an Arabian language interpreter was arrested by Gardaí and charged with the rape of a 10-year-old girl. Can you get that into your thick skulls? 10. Destroyed the poor thing's life. And she was in state care. She was in the state care of Tuzla. Where they got that bloody name, I don't know. This guy was here for 6 years. And was ordered to be deported. And wasn't deported. Heather Humphreys loves, LOVES, uncontrolled mass migration. Her sister woman in Fine Gael, Helen McEntee, loves it. I sometimes think there's a thing called the Stockholm Syndrome. The Stockholm Syndrome is where well-reared youngsters are kidnapped, just like the Hamas crowd in Israel kidnapped Israeli people. And this has happened with Bada Meinhof years ago and other criminals that took children and held them hostage for so long that the children adopted the policies of their kidnappers. If it were me, the policy they'd be getting when I'd get near the bread knife. But the thing is, that can happen. Like the Greens, Eamon Cabbagehead Ryan, Roderick O'Gorman, Catherine Martin, has it rubbed off so well on Heather Humphreys from up at Drum and Monaghan that she's gone in that way too? How did Helen McEntee, that's not from that background, from a decent Fine Gael family, turn out to be this way? And she craves it. If Heather gets in, she's a stooge for Helen McEntee. She'll not face her down. She never raised a hair. Now, it was said today, obviously Catherine Connolly was on today about field sports. The media likes to call them blood sports. They're field sports. There are thousands of animals slaughtered in legal slaughterhouses. There's 2 million chickens a week slaughtered in Manor Farm in Shercock. If you don't like it, stop eating it. This is the reality of life, and because animals are mainly out in the country, it happens not always, but mostly in rural areas. So Heather has said she won't stop horse riding, fox hunting, shooting, fishing, those type of pursuits, which are heavily regulated. And then Catherine Connolly was on, she doesn't like hair coursing. The dogs are muzzled, you silly woman. Muzzled, M-U-Z-Z-L-E-D. Yet she has no problem destroying the grouse habitat. Grouse are 9,000 years since the Ice Age. The Irish red grouse is a unique species. I was involved in trying to preserve them down in the Slieve Bloom Mountains and other places. They ripped it up. They poured 100 lorry loads of concrete into the base of every turbine and destroyed the whole habitat. That species is almost gone. And they don't give a damn. And they've the cheek, Catherine Connolly has the cheek to talk about the environment. They won't comply with Article 3.2 of the SCA directive, which is our right. Nobody asked for that. Joe Finnegan on Today didn't ask her, and Shannonside Northern Sound, he never asked her that question. They have the media behind them. And so has Heather Humphreys. They kept out Conor McGregor, the councillors kept out Conor McGregor, and they kept out Mary Steen. In the last election, many independents ran thinking that there was a sea change because in the marriage equality referendum, the people voted 71% against the government. And maybe they would on this time. Maybe they'd go out and write Steen. They shouldn't get away with it. It doesn't matter a hoot. Much. It doesn't matter much which of the two of them get it. As a man who has been engaged in field activities all my life, certainly the least likely to ban it would be Heather. But the president will have to sign whatever comes in front of them anyway. We have 8 independent TDs propping up this decrepit government. And they're bringing in the migrants and they'll be buying more hotels and more hotels. It is grotesque, and penalties will eventually have to be levied. And when we get power, we will be stripping the ministers in these governments from their pay. They'll be left with nothing. And they'll be lucky if they're not jailed. And that includes Heather Humphreys and the Connolly one. That's it. It's up to people what to do. But a sizable portion of the Irish people realise when you vote for the ordinary parties, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil, you are voting to kill people. You are killing them. Like if you stabbed a knife yourself and you're raping 10-year-old girls. That's what you are doing when you encourage these creeps. It was the same in America. They had this thing in America with USAID and everything with the Democrats. That had to be stopped. Trump, whatever you might say about him, proved that you can get them, stop them coming in, and you can horse them back wherever the hell they came from. But that will not happen until people change their vote. If you can't bring yourself to right to do what I'm doing, then why not stay at home? A 25% turnout would be a blow to them. But I don't know. I think they're so thick that they can't even take a hint. Do what you wish, folks. Do whatever you want. It's a disgusting thing. It's that a girl's life should be ruined. She should be ruined. A little girl that could grow up to be a singer or something, or a stage actress or something, and to do this, and they expose her in the state care. But even if she wasn't in the state's care, she could be a little lassie going home from seeing her friends. And these guys are running around fully backed by these ones. And that's me being modest. Fully backed by the 2 presidential candidates. I'm available to discuss this with anybody. Right, folks, you know what to do. Thank you very much. Poor little thing. They're savages. Fianna Gael and Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin. They are savages. And they want these migrants because they're putting out. Catherine Connolly was on the television tonight. I seen her briefly. I went in to get a mug of tea. And she was on, the poor underprivileged. We have had 10 years of great growth in Ireland. The people building, the people putting up items around houses, fencing, all that. They cannot get staff. Some companies have to stop taking orders because they cannot get staff. There's no shortage of work for anyone that wants to do it. And yet, after all that, you have this Connolly one coming on and say, there's people underprivileged. They're not getting this. We represent the downtrodden. How the hell is that downtrodden? In this day and age, with money flowing everywhere, with hardware shops doing well. No, the answer is their old communist ideology is nothing more than a scam to get power and give them an excuse to get power. That's all it is. And they need the migrants in because they come in here with very little and they can say, you're underprivileged, you're living in Val Martin's Ireland, he's all right, which is not very true. Let's say, look at them all, they're all big builders, they're all wealthy. We'll give you a lump of their money. Coming here from Timbuktu. And they tell them then, and which they will do, they'll give all there is away to people who don't even know where Ireland is. And there was a lad called Michael Henderson on the radio today, and I think he's from the Migrant Council. Now, I didn't research him. And he was talking about migrant rights. Migrant rights. In other words, a Somali pirate or a Pakistani fella, the lad that was going round the roads, the streets, demanding the execution by hanging of Asi Bibi for nothing, for being a Catholic. He has rights. Oh, he has rights. Migrant rights. So he's born today, or he's maybe 15 years old, or maybe he's 50 years of age, and he's walking around in Pakistan, and he gets a bit fed up, and he says, sure, I'll go to Ireland. Or he comes from Somalia, or anywhere else, Africa, or anywhere else. And he arrives in Ireland, and he has more rights than I have. And if I open my mouth, they're bringing in hate speech law to put me in jail. That is the grotesque nature of Heather Humphrey and Catherine Connolly's candidacy. That's what it is. And God blast our neighbours. God damn yous. You'll have no bloody luck for it. You'll die roaring, and you'll go into look for nursing homes, and you won't get a place because it'll be crowded out by migrants. God damn you for what you do every time you go in, and you do this, and you result in the rape of little girls of 10, and you can sleep in your bloody beds contented. I voted Fianna Fáil, and there's going to be a heap of them that thick, and they're so used to voting Fianna Fáil that they're going to vote for Gavin. Someone said today, well, they'll cross number 2. They mightn't. They might just number 1 for Gavin. That'll be an interesting point. But they're going to do that. They don't give a damn what the consequences of the vote is, and that's why these rascals is doing it. Because they know they're going to get it. They're going to get away with it politically and every other way. Luckily enough, there are people in the world that's not the same as our government, as the British government and the EU. And for that reason, the quicker the EU collapses round their ears, the dirty tramps, and that's all they are, the better. There's no one can absolve themselves of the guilt of getting that pen and marking it for any of this. It is pure evil. It's pure evil. It's the devil, if he exists at all. There he is. They cut the heads of 2 gay men in Sligo. So what about them? They shouldn't have been gay anyway. If you play with fire, you're going to get burned. That's what we are walking among. That's what we are walking among on the street. And they should be told it every time we get a chance. Okay, folks, I'm going in and I'm marking Steen on my ballot paper. I'm not saying what anyone else can do. The best of luck to you. I hope most of my viewers will realise the injustice that no one in Ireland ever suffered. The injustice we are suffering now. The famine was nothing like what this is. And I was talking to a person today, and they agreed with me, and they said, you know, all this worrying them, will they get a holiday in Benidorm or in the Canary Islands before Christmas? Will we get a holiday? And a lot of them will be gone away. The schools is closed on Friday. I think it's closed on Thursday tomorrow, and they're all heading off out for a flight. Don't vote at all. But this is the reality. That little girl is destroyed for life. I can only pray for her, and God help her, the poor little thing, by the savage Irish people. And they are savages. Savages. That's what we are. I'm not one, but they're savages. I know them inside out. Folks, that's all I can say to you. 13 minutes, not too short. There are some villains, some sickening villains. Good luck. Bye-bye. Thank you.